Searching for some stitching. Today I'm going to teach you how to crochet ruffles. Now there are many different types of ruffles that you can crochet. The ones that I'm going to teach you today I like to call the tutu style. This is because they are quite short stitches that are done in a serpentine or S-shaped pattern, and they're often the ones that you see on a ballerina's tutu. To perform this tutorial, you will need yarn of any weight. I am using medium 4 worsted weight yarn, and you'll also need a crochet hook that is appropriate to the size of your yarn weight. I'm going to be using a 5.5 millimeter Furls Streamline resin crochet hook. In order to crochet these ruffles, you will need a base of double crochet stitches. Each row of ruffles uses 2 rows of double crochet. Before we get started, I think it's best to explain to you how these crochet ruffles are formed. In this tutorial, you will not be crocheting into stitches, but around stitches. To create these ruffles, you will be crocheting around the double crochet stitches, which you will hear me say in the tutorial would be along a bar, because as I work this tutorial, I tend to forget that these are actually double crochet stitches because we are working around them, and they really become mentally to me little bars that you work around. You will also be crocheting around lower and upper bars. So between every double crochet, there's a lower bar right here between them. So there's your lower bar. And there's actually an upper bar too between them. So in this tutorial, we will be crocheting around the double crochets, which I will say along the bar. We will be crocheting around the lower bars. You'll hear me say lower bar. And we're crocheting around the upper bars. So you'll hear me say upper bar. Now, another thing that you will be doing in this tutorial is that when we crochet along a bar, so when we're crocheting around a double crochet, we are going to be creating 5 double crochets around that bar, so along this bar. When we work around a lower or an upper bar, we will be crocheting 3 double crochets. So let me show you how this works. For this little swatch here, I have 22 double crochets. Now that includes my chain 3 turning chains at the end. In this tutorial, they will count as double crochets, so they will be bars that we work around. Now, this is an even number of stitches. However, an even number of stitches is not required to do this tutorial. If you have an odd number of stitches, you should come out with matching ruffle ends. A little end here and a little end here, a little end here, and a little end here, and they match up. If you have an even number of stitches, your ends look different. You have a little end here and a larger end here, a little end here and a larger end here. However, the pattern still looks lovely, it's still usable, and there's nothing wrong with doing it this way. So now to begin, I'm going to be using a contrasting color because I think it will make it easier for you to see what I'm doing. Okay, so I never use the very first row of double crochets when I make ruffles. That is entirely up to you. I never do, so I'm going to move up to this 3rd row, because remember, when we make a row of ruffles, it requires 2 rows of double crochets. So for me, I'm going to count back 3. 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to start here. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to form a slip stitch around our first double crochet, which is also a chain 3 turning chain. So we're just going to put our hook right here in this hole, and we're going to make a slip stitch to attach our yarn. Okay. Now I like to try to just tug this out of the way because it likes to get in the way with this next part. And now what we're going to do is we're going to create 3 double crochets along this bar. So we're going to yarn over, we're going to put our hook through. So we're right here in that hole. We're going to yarn over, we're going to pull through, we're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and we've created 1 double crochet around this chain 3 turning chain, which is our first double crochet of this row. Okay, and we're going to do that 2 more times. So we're going to yarn over, go under, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and now we have 2 double crochets. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So now we have 3 double crochets around that first double crochet of our 3rd row. Okay, so for our next step, we are going to chain 1, and then we are going to work, let me get this little tail out of the way, we're going to work 5 double crochets along the next double crochet in this row. So we're going to yarn over, all right, and then we're going to put our hook through. Do you see how I'm doing that? We're going to go from all the way around the back. We're going to insert our hook through this hole. We're going to go around the back of this double crochet and out the other side, okay? Then we're going to get this tail out of the way. Then we're going to yarn over. We're going to pull underneath that bar, that double crochet stitch, okay? We're going to yarn over. We're going to pull through, yarn over, pull through, and we've just made 1 double crochet around the 2nd double crochet of our 3rd row, okay? So along this bar. So now we're going to do that 4 more times. We're going to yarn over, insert our hook, okay, down, underneath the double crochet and up, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and now we've made 2 double crochets around this bar or this double crochet. Okay, and we're going to do that 3 more times. So now we have 3 double crochets. We have 4 double crochets, and we now have 5 double crochets. Okay, and I'm going to actually take this out just so you can take a look here. So as we turn our project back this way, you can already see these ruffles forming. Okay, so we've started up here and we've swooped down and we've come up to the top and we're sweeping down, okay? And this is going to make our serpentine pattern, our S-like shape all the way across the fabric. As you can see here, the first part of our ruffle is close together. We did not skip any stitches. But as we continue on, I want the center of the project to have more of a looser ruffle. I want the ends to be a bit tighter here and the middle to be a bit looser. So we're going to start skipping stitches. And for our next step, we're going to chain 1 and then we're going to start working. We're going to skip this stitch and we're going to start working around this lower bar here. Okay, so we're going to chain 1. We're going to yarn over because we are double crocheting. Again, we're skipping this double crochet and we're going to work around the lower bar. So we're going to just get our hook underneath. So I'm starting from bottom and going up through the top. I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to pull through. I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So now I have just made 1 double crochet around the lower bar. And I'm going to do this 2 more times. So yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And I'm going to do this 1 more time. We're going to yarn over, we're going to insert our hook, and sometimes it helps if you can see that I'm squishing this row. So I'm kind of squishing this row together to get under those bars. So all I have to do is just basically go into this hole, pull my yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and I'm going to flatten this back out. I'm going to take this out just to give you a good view here. All right. So now you can see that serpentine pattern coming together some more. So we have up, down, up, down, and here we are. We're gonna make this ruffle a bit wider than what we did here. So it's not, we don't want it all super scrunchy all the way through. Okay, so we have formed the side and now we're forming the bottom. So for our next step, we are going to chain one again. We are going to skip our next double crochet, which is right here, and we're going to start forming up. Okay, so we're going to work around this double crochet along this bar to start forming the side of our ruffle that's going up. Okay. So we are going to chain one. We're going to yarn over because it is double crochet. Again, we're skipping this double crochet and we're going to work along this bar here. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two, one double crochet made around this double crochet or along this bar. So we're going to yarn over. Again, I'm going to kind of pinch it. Now I'm pinching it the other way. Before I was pinching it like this. Now I'm going to pinch it like this, and this helps just create a hole that I can just literally just stick my hook under, pull through, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two. Now we're working along a bar, and if you remember what I said at the beginning, when we work along a bar, we're going to be putting in 5 double crochets. So I need to make 3 more along this bar. So I'm going to yarn over, insert hook, and we're going to pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to do this 2 more times. Okay. There we go. We have a large ruffle formed here, and now we're starting the top of another ruffle, and we're coming down the side. And now, one thing to remember, if you have just recently worked in the underbar between those 2 double crochet stitches, the next time you go to a bar, you're going to be working in the upper bars, okay? So you always alternate lower to upper. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1, we are going to skip this double crochet, and we're going to work into the upper bar right here between these 2 double crochets. So let's chain 1, yarn over, and we're going to kind of wiggle our hook underneath and come up. We're going to yarn over again. We're going to pull through. Again, here I'm pinching just to create a hole. It makes it easier. So we're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, go into the hole. It just makes it a lot easier to make sure that you are creating your stitches around the right place. And remember, I said when we work the upper or the lower bars, we're going to put in 3 double crochets. So that's what I'm doing here. That's my 3rd double crochet along the upper bar. Okay, so you can see how this is shaping out. Okay. So now the next step is to form another side of a ruffle. And the way we're going to do that again is we are going to skip the next double crochet, and we are going to work 5 double crochets along the next double crochet or along this bar. So we are going to chain 1, yarn over, we're going to skip this stitch, and I'm going to kind of squish these together and kind of pull this double crochet out, this bar out, and that helps. I'll put in my hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and create my double crochet. And again, since we are working along a bar, I'm going to create 5 double crochets along. Okay. So that's my second one. Third, 4th, and here's my 5th one. Okay. So again, I'm going to take my hook out so you can just see how the ruffles are progressing. Okay, so now we have just worked in our upper bar, So now we want to work in a lower bar. Again, we're going to skip the next double crochet. So we're going to work under this lower bar here that's between these two double crochets. So we're going to start by chaining one. Okay, we're going to yarn over and we're going to wiggle our hook under the bar, bring it up. So we're only working around this little bar here. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through two, and we're going to make 3 double crochets around this lower bar. And this is our third one. Okay. So as you can see from now, or you should be able to see, as you should be able to see by now, after we work the bottom of our ruffle, we're going to work the side of our ruffle. Then we come down the other side of our ruffle, we work the top of our ruffle, and we just keep going in this serpentine pattern. So we've just worked our bottom of our ruffle. So now we're going to work up the side of the ruffle. We're going to skip this double crochet, and we're going to work along this bar or this double crochet right here by putting 5 double crochets around it. You always start out your next section by chaining 1 first. So we're going to yarn over. We're going to skip this double crochet. I'm going to work my hook under this one here, yarn over, and again, I'm going to form 5 double crochets. This is my third one. Fourth, and my 5th. Okay. All right, so there, now you can see where we are along our ruffle. So the next thing we want to do is we're going to form the top of our ruffle. We just formed our bottom, we formed our side, and now we're going to form our top. Again, we're going to skip this double crochet, and we are going to work into the upper bar right here between these 2 double crochets. So we're going to chain 1, yarn over for our double crochet, wiggle our hook up there. All right, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And since we are working the upper bar, we're going to put 3 double crochets. Okay, and there's our third one. We're going to chain 1 before we start our next one. So now we're going to be working down along our next bar. So we're going to skip this one and we're going to work 5 double crochets along this bar here. So yarn over, wiggle your hook under so you are working firmly underneath that stitch, yarn over, and create 5 double crochets. This is number 3, 4, and here's 5. I'm going to go ahead and do my chain 1, turn my work over here, pull out my hook so you can see how it's progressing. Okay, and then the last time we worked the upper bar, so our next time we're going to be working our lower bar. So again, we skip the next double crochet. We're going to work underneath this lower bar here, and we're going to put 3 double crochets there. So you're going to yarn over, under the lower bar, and put 3 double crochets. And here we are on our third one. I'm going to go ahead and chain 1. And now we want to start making the side of our ruffle again. So we're going to go up this way. We're going to skip this double crochet and we're going to work around this double crochet by creating 5 double crochets around it. So we're going to yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, and we're going to do this 4 more times. So this is 2, 3, 4, and here is 5. Again, I'm going to go ahead and end by doing my chain 1. Okay, so now this is how our project looks so far. So our last bar that we worked under was the lower bar. So our next bar that we're going to work is an upper bar, and it will be between these 2 double crochets. So we're going to skip this double crochet and work under this upper bar right here. And we're going to place 3 double crochets there. Okay. Make sure I catch the bars. All right. Okay, hang on here. My fingers don't want to get in the right position. There we go. So that's 1. So kind of pull that out, that'll make it easier here. 2 and 3. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and chain 1. All right, so now we're going to start working back down. We're going to skip this double crochet and we're going to work along this double crochet because we are now going to be forming another side of the ruffle. So we're going to yarn over, and we're going to work around this bar here. 1. Remember, we're going to put 5, 2, 3, this is 4, and here's my 5th one. I'm going to go ahead and chain 1. Okay, turn my work back around so you can see how our ruffles are progressing. And now we only have 2 stitches left to work around. We have worked the upper on this one, we've come back down, and so now it's time to work a lower. Again, we're going to skip this double crochet and we're going to work under this lower bar here. Yarn over, make sure I get through, there we go, I got it. All right, and we're going to work 3 because we are working, we're going to do 3 double crochets because we are working under that lower bar. 2 and 3. Okay, we're going to chain 1. Okay, so here we are at the end. Okay, of course there's no way we can skip this because there's not another stitch here, and that's fine. Remember I said I like my ends to be scrunched, then we kind of spread them out in the middle, and you want that scrunch again at the end. Now, because this was an even number of stitches versus an odd, I am going to get this larger ruffle at the end versus the smaller ruffle at the end, okay? And the reason for that is we've done our 3 double crochets under the underbar. So now what we're going to do along this last double crochet, which is a chain 3 turning chain, we are going to double crochet 5 times around it, okay? Because it's always 3 and then 5. So we're going to yarn over, and we're going to go through, remember, going from right to left, like this, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, and we're going to do this 4 more times to make 5 double crochets. It's 2, here's 3, 4, and 5. And to close this off, we're going to go around the post one more time. We're going to go around that last double crochet bar one more time, and we are going to slip stitch to close, okay? So I'm just going to pull that off, and there we go. We have successfully completed 1 row of crochet ruffles. So at this point, you would just cut your remaining tails, weave everything in, and you're good to go. Now, I do want to explain one more thing before I go. In this tutorial, I did show you how to do 1 row of crochet ruffles. However, if you look at my samples, I've done 2 rows. So I do want to explain to you Remember how I said earlier, so for every row of crochet ruffles you make, you need two rows of double crochets. Now, if you're going to make multiple rows, I want to explain to you that you should start from the top and work down versus working down to the top. And the reason for that is these ruffles do end up being close together. And if you are working from the bottom up, as you're working, you saw when I was doing this, I was twisting this, I was pinching this, I was going all sorts of different directions. So what will happen is this row will be in your way as you're working this row. However, if you work this row first, even though you're moving around and pinching and stuff, so as you're moving this around, see that top row of ruffles sort of falls down, so you still have space to work here. That won't happen if it's the other way around. So please be sure, if you're going to have multiple rows of crochet ruffles, that you start your ruffle rows proceeding from the top, going to the bottom. And that, folks, is how you create crochet ruffles in the tutu style. If you liked this tutorial, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll be back with more stitch tutorials for you in the future. Thank you and have a good day.